they're all locker rooms and like utilitarian space for that. So you can imagine probably Josh Gibson was under there at some point, you know.
Yeah.
Right, Josh and
Larry Doby, Monte
Doby.
Irvin, right?
You got
Oscar
it.
Charleston.
Oscar Charleston,
I
Ray
mean,
Dandridge.
it's just, come on. It's amazing. And
So now everything to the right, the big part of why the stadium is what we call a remarkable survivor of neglect is because it was built, during the Depression era. So to save costs, like if you investigate the concrete, you'll see there's a lot of it's not pure concrete, there's a lot of rocks in there. But the good thing is that the seating is poured concrete on top of poured concrete, so there's no rebar. No rebar means you're not going to have that deterioration, and everything from the right of the red staircase, it's all built into the earth. So therefore, it's able to survive a lot better because it's kind of like compacted. So we're lucky because of that. Now, your question about the baseball diamond. If you notice, the wall goes low, 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 low. It gets a little higher there, right? See that? Where it says Free Joey Torres?
Yeah.
Gets a little higher. Goes low again. Goes low again. Goes low again. Gets a little higher. Those are indicative of the dugouts. Now, they're not truly dug out. What they did was they only had a roof over the... So this would be essentially the first base dugout, and that would be the third base dugout. Have you seen any aerial shots of Hinchliffe from before 1940?
yeah, whatever's on the website, we did see it.
Yeah. So that school was built in 1940. That picture was before 1940 because there were houses over there. So you figure your dugouts are going to be equidistant. The way we determine approximately, I would love to actually get an actual reading as to where it would be. Pretty much the middle of this pillar would be kind of like center to both. Remember, there was a track. There's that the end zone. I would say probably right about here would be where home plate would have been. Ballpark, no pun intended. Now, if you look over here, this is where I'm telling you that the poorly designed 1963, change of the field is. This is first base right here.
so, what is this like? What do they grow? I mean,
Well, that's the thing. It's when you don't take care of things.
but it's like this. But this is specific. They have grass growing here, and it's outlined. What is it? What is this? This would be. So remember, AstroTurf, right? So this is like the dirt for first base. Okay. So that's dirt for home plate. That's the good thing. Wow.
So if you want
and things grew on it. And
because you think about it, it's dirt, right? So you're not upkeeping it. Pollen, everything. Like you have all these trees, weeds growing.
So this home plate would be here.
Home plate would be there for the 1963. This is not Negro League.
Gotcha.
Negro Leagues would have been, as I mentioned.
Right, Negro League would have been right around there. Gotcha. Okay. Press box, I assume?
Yeah, not historic though. You can see it's like cinder block.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. Who can guess what goes on in here at night?
Oh my God. You're gonna feel this sort of stuff. And it's right next to a school. That's a great place. This would be your home plate. The home plate that was last used here in 1997 is at the exhibit today.
So, Brian, Gary mentioned are you an umpire or a referee? What did he say?
A video.
Yeah, so I used to work for the NFL, but I was backstabbed, so I don't work there anymore. But I worked with the game officials.
Gotcha.
So, and I was a replay official in the Alliance of American Football.
Right. He said is that the league that folded?
It folded. Yeah, it folded last year because of finances.
Right.
But now the XFL folded recently because of coronavirus.
Yeah.
Here's a piece of asphalt. Actually, looks like it's pretty new.
Yeah.
But yeah. So this is Hinchliffe.
So this is where some of the greats played.
That's right. Over 20 Hall of Famers played here.
Wow.
Over 20 Hall of Famers.
Over 20 Hall of Famers.
That's amazing.
No.
And even Babe Ruth came in. I think he saw some boxing matches, so he
That's
was
right.
here as
he
well.
was a big fan of boxing, and he came out here, and of course, there are actually some tickets out there, Hinchliffe Stadium tickets that are signed by Babe Ruth. I would love to have them.
Oh yeah.
You know who could probably get those is Neil Scherer.
Right.
He gets all these things and he puts them in artwork.
Oh wow.
He did a
Polo Grounds
program
exhibit.
Yeah, that we at the Polo at the Morris Trammell Mansion. And he's fantastic. He did.
I love your logo. It's so cool.
Thank you. My daughter made that.
No kidding.
Yeah, my daughter designed that.
I do love that.
Yeah, I'll tell her. And there was something else I want to ask you. So, over 20 Hall of Famers, but there was something. Jeff, Chris Epting. So Chris Epting, he's a writer.
Okay.
And he wrote a book. Oh, you would really enjoy this book. Jeff, what is the book? Is it's baseball.
Roadside baseball.
Roadside baseball. It's like, so wherever you are, it's like for every state. Some
Sure.
states have more places than others.
Yeah.
But Hinchliffe Stadium is in there.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. That's great. I'm so
And
glad.
we contacted him and told him we were coming here, and he was thought that was great. But he mentioned it in his book, Hinchliffe Stadium.
That's great. I'm glad to see that. I mean, that's what it's about. It's really about getting this place back up and running, and really honoring that history.
Brian, I wanted to ask you, during our interview a couple weeks ago, you mentioned that the New York Cubans, or New York Black Yankees, played the Pittsburgh Crawford in a championship games. And how long would it take them to go from stadium to Pittsburgh to here? I mean, that couldn't be back in the 30s and 40s.
Yeah. It wasn't formulaic.
Uh-huh.
You know how you have 3 games, travel day, right? No, it goes 2 games, travel day, 3 games,
Right.
travel day, 2 more games for 7, right? What they called the Colored Championship of the Nation spanned, if I'm not mistaken, 15 days. And because things were not,
Well, they weren't
unfortunately-
flying, they were busing it
You
probably.
said there was a game played in between, right?
Yeah, Philadelphia
It's a
Stars.
game schedule.
Right.
Oh, but it rained.
But it
or
got
something?
rained out. The
Right.
Black Yankees win that series, and the feeling, and I mentioned that in the exhibit, I think the local promoters felt they have a hot hand. Wow, we were supposed to have a game. Let's just get another game in. Then they called that the Colored Championship of the Nation, almost like a one-game winner-take-all. Philadelphia won like 14-6 or something like that. So they were champions for 2 weeks. But I don't know if it was like a true championship. Again, it was very difficult times, as you imagine. So things were not very formulaic, as you would think. They were organized, but sometimes you weren't always playing teams within the league. Sometimes you were playing against white teams, And in 1935, the New York Cubans played here, and they were in the championship series too. It was called the Negro National League Championship. So it wasn't the Negro League World Series, or sometimes referred to as the Negro World Series. But that was weird too. Pittsburgh won that in 7 games. Game 1 was here in Paterson. The other 2 games were in Pittsburgh. I'm sorry. 1 in Paterson, 1 in New York, 2 in Pittsburgh, and 2 in Philadelphia. You can't make that up.
I mean, yeah.
But I think it's also probably has to do with leases, maybe also like trying to kind of get the games in different areas, like almost like a showcase. So I think there was a lot of moving parts there about trying to kind of like get as many places to kind of see your product to a degree.
So the plan is for this place, and obviously it doesn't look like construction started it again.
No.
It was supposed to, but it didn't. Put, I guess, a turf type of field down just
Unfortunately, it'll be artificial
for
turf.
practicality.
It'll be fake.
And we're still trying to get the home plate to be where the Negro League was over there.
Why would there be any issue, considering they haven't? Okay, so when you were first talking about home plate, my first thought was, well, if they already have it in a place, maybe they don't want to move. They haven't done anything yet. Put the plate where it should be.
Yeah.
I mean, they have not done a single thing yet. So the plate should be as authentic as possible.
Yeah, and that's what I'm going to try to do. And I was trying to put together a petition, but it wouldn't let me I wanted to upload the picture, and then it said it kept telling me had an error. It had an error. That same day, I spoke to the developer. He claims you're going to get your home plate, but
You should, because they haven't done
it's not
anything
my
yet.
home plate. It's
No, but it's
their home
if
plate.
it's
Right.
if you're trying to make this place as it was, then do it as it was. Put the home plate, put the bases, put everything the way it's supposed to be.
Did Buck O'Neill play here too?
No,
No?
Kansas City Monarchs never played here.
Oh, no, they never came this far east.
Yeah.
Okay,
I mean, if they did, they didn't come to Paterson. They probably came to New York. I'm
right.
sure the Monarchs played at Yankee Stadium.
But let's talk about Monte Irvin.
Monte Irvin, yeah.
He was son of Paterson, or was that Larry Doby?
Larry Doby's from Paterson by way of South Carolina. Monte Irvin's from Orange, New Jersey.
Okay.
Tried out here in 1937 for the New York Eagles. Larry Doby went to Eastside High School in Paterson, and he tried out here in 1942. So you have a place where two future Hall of Famers tried out for the same team, but years apart, and became teammates.
Right.
And they were also opponents in the 1954 World Series. In fact, Larry Doby was on second base when Willie Mays made the catch,
Ah.
and Irvin was on second base as second baseman.
So Larry Doby, who was who broke the color barrier in the American League,
Right.
played here. Started out in Hinchliffe Stadium in Newark, in Paterson, New Jersey.
Correct.
And Monte Irvin, who's one of the greats,
Who-
Hall of Famer.
Who we know would have been the first
Right.
to break the color barrier,
Brooklyn potentially.
right? Because of his action during the war, he felt he wasn't ready. According to Bob Kendrick, this was that's why they went from Monte Irvin to
Jackie Robinson.
Jackie Robinson.
Plus, Jackie Robinson already had national notoriety.
Right.
Playing football at UCLA. You know, look, it was tough for Jackie Robinson for sure. To think about Larry Doby being 4 years younger, 23 years old, breaking in, literally played game one of a doubleheader on July 4th. Between games, he had to get his stuff and go to a train. Was supposed to go to Cleveland. A reporter broke the story, and then in that travel, they decided. And again, who knows how the trains? I mean, I guess you can go from trains were probably interconnected a lot more differently than they are today. You probably were on that same train that would have gone to Cleveland, probably just continued on to Chicago, is my guess. Of course, he gets there, can't stay at the team hotel. Meets his players. They were mainly cold shoulder, except for Joe Gordon, I think.
Now, is that an original scoreboard back there?
I wouldn't call it original. It's original to like the 80s.
Right, because of the
It's not. No, I'm definitely not 32.
No.
right.
They must have had something, though, that they used as some kind of scoreboard.
Well, yes, they did. I remember there was a big wall that was here.
Right. So it was
So
on there.
something on the wall
Gotcha.
that would have been representative of that.
Now, Larry Doby and Satchel Paige on Cleveland, that was the last time that Cleveland won the
48. That's right.
the World
And Larry
Series.
Doby hit a crucial home run in Game 4, which, if you've ever seen the photograph, which I think he was on the presentation. There's Steve Brummett, the starting pitcher of Larry Doby, on the embrace. And it's the first. It's widely believed to be the first image of a black man and a white man in the embrace.
So,
And if it wasn't for the tryout here in 1942, history, that's one moment in time here at a historic site.
Right.
That kind of, changes every historic moment after that. The 1948 World Series, the 1946 Negro League World Series, the first African American in a home run in World Series history. All these things. If he doesn't do well at that tryout,
Yep.
maybe everything else changes. Maybe.
when we were kids,
Mhm.
there was a commercial on TV, right? There was a commercial with a Native American, right? He's riding, I think he's on a horse, or maybe he's walking, I can't remember. Comes to the highway, sees all the litter. Tier, right? Okay. I'm walking through here, I'm trying to picture the history, and all I can think of, and it makes me so sad, like
Yeah.
I said, tear.
Yeah.
That's how I feel right now seeing this. But the fact that they're going to do something with this, I really hope that they do.
Yeah.
We have to promote this as much as we can on our show. This has to, if they're going to do it, I mean, because right now the way this looks, it's just
It's yeah.
It's sad.
I mean, that's the thing, when you take care of the little things, the bigger things take care of themselves, and nobody took care of the little things from before 1997.
Right.
1997 is when this place closed down. 23 years.
23 years, wow.
I mean, if this stadium, if someone was born in that time, that person would be graduating college now. I mean, come on.
Right.
It's inept.
And
Let's take a walk outside. We'll walk the exterior, and then
Sure.
let's get over to Hawthorne, because I do